Welcome to the Moon Men podcast.
Does the moon actually possess such strange powers?
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Moonlight is thought to transform some people into strange creatures to drive others mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly glad to be here tonight.
We choose to go to the moon.
5, 4,
We choose to go to the moon.
2, 1, 0.
Hey guys, it's Devyn. Welcome back. And this is, sorry, I'm trying to find my words here. This is weird. Alright. I know you guys all heard, or a majority of you heard, Eddie's announcement, Eddie's last mission log. And if you didn't hear, Eddie said goodbye. And we were gonna do something different to, really send him off. But Eddie's not the kind of guy that brings attention to himself. He, you guys have heard him all throughout the years. He's a really, really humble guy, and he didn't feel appropriate to do like a send off episode or anything. So that's why there's just this kind of abrupt cut. You can see the new cover, and we're kind of in a new era here. It's weird. It feels weird doing this, and not hearing him, interrupt. But I'm sitting here, got the new host here, and I hope you all welcome me in welcoming this person here, because there's been a lot of changes on the show, things that we won't really address, moving forward. But we've had people come, we've had people go, had people step down, and it's like, we've come through a lot, but I want to go back to what the show originally was. I want to go back to basics here. And I think this person can really help me bring that out of the show. They've always been there. They've always seen, what it is. And even though they've always been in the background, they've always had an amazing voice of their own, and a voice that really shined through. So them. But this isn't my part. This isn't for me to say. So I'll let him speak for himself. Take it away, man.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, bitches! Ole, ole, ole.
El cucaracha, el cucaracha.
It's Mother's Day.
You fucking thought, bitch. Yeah, Eddie completely forgot about April Fool's Day, and he wanted to pull an April Fool's prank on all you guys, making it seem like he was gonna leave, and he got fucked up. He was gonna do it for the 1st of May, and then he fucked up his schedule, and then he started his new job, so things have been really fucked up for us. And I was like, Eddie, we could still do your prank where you're leaving, but the fans are gonna hate you. And
Yeah.
So you know what? You explain it, Eddie. Tell him. Give him the. If you're confused, it's still Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie's still the guest.
Yeah. The guest.
Eddie's still the host.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eddie. Speak for yourself.
I don't want to. Not anymore.
We're gonna brush past it.
Yeah, we're gonna get the broom. I'll get the dustpan.
Okay.
You get
Well
the broom.
then, for the one time, why don't you? That was the signal. I wanted you to.
Welcome to the Movement Podcast. This is me and Devyn. It's our show. We're in a new era. The old Eddie died. This guy is a lot funnier.
Oh, I like that. How about for this new era, we're letting go of our old selves?
Yeah.
So,
but if we let go of our old selves and it comes back, then it's meant to be.
I don't know if that applies.
Are you sure?
Like, if that's a serial killer?
Or like a former addict?
Or what about me, right? Like, if I quit all my addictions, I've been sober for a few weeks now.
Right.
If they come back, was it meant to be?
Yep, you're meant to be an addict. You're meant to be a vapor forever. You're meant to have an iron lung, not normal lungs, an iron lung.
That was a eye opener there. Actually, that inspired me. I'm never gonna go back to vaping.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
So yeah, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you. You never really fully answered my question
about
what did you think of my episode. I asked you, but then.
Yeah.
But I asked you, but then fucking...
This is perfect, because we can talk about it on the show.
Donnie interrupted you.
Donnie?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and that's
a good,
why like it
that's a
fits
good
him.
nickname. It's a good
Fits
nickname.
him. It fits him.
I think we should change his name to Donnie. Honestly.
Donnie. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that fits.
Yeah.
He's talking about my brother. If you're confused,
Yeah.
if you're an eagle-eyed listener, you listen to every episode, you know his real name. If you don't, it doesn't fucking matter. He doesn't matter right now.
I need something to fidget with. Do you have anything?
Do you want my water? My water? That's my water.
That's yeah.
What about your AirPods? Grab your AirPod case.
I'll
That's the perfect fidget.
I'll fidget with this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything near me,
that's
buddy.
fine. That's fine.
So, a couple things. Let's do some housekeeping real quick, and then we'll get on to the actual episode here. We're in a new era, and like I was hinting at in the intro, we've stop looking around. It's fine. There's no housekeepers here.
I asked you a question.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that, but that's gonna transition.
That's what you meant. That's what you meant.
But that's good because I actually completely forgot that you just asked me that. God, so there's item number one. I think I've recently discovered that I might have ADHD, and I'm hoping to get a diagnosis and figure that part of myself out. But that, on top of a lot of other stuff in my personal life, has led me to try to become a better human being. I won't go into the details of it, but you're going to hear it leak out in the episodes moving forward. So I'm hoping to present myself in a different manner. And Eddie's been kind of on the same train with a lot of life changes. Not really personality-wise, but I think he's trying to put more effort into the show. And I think we both are. We both really want to go back to what the show was originally and keep that magic that we had where it's like just two guys hanging out, talking about shit. And we are going to go back to guests. We've done polls on our Instagram. Thank you to everybody who participated. We've talked to a lot of you guys on the side here, and we've planned some future guests to come. By the end of summer, we're going to have at least 2 or 3 guests. Hopefully before fall hits, we'll get through all 3 of them. We have 3 people lined up and 2 others waiting to join. So some returning, wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge. Nod, nod. Nod, don't fit there, right?
No.
Nudge, nudge. $20.
No, it's wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got some returning guests. High demand returning guests. Some fan favorite returning guests. And then we got some new people coming. And we're going back to the mission logs, and we're trying to keep that original spirit here. We've been slacking because of all the stuff going on in life, but with our focus, everything should be in a much better spot. So let's push past all this bullshit, move forward. Hopefully you guys like the cover. I don't know what it looks like right now.
Oh, it looks like that.
Yeah, it looks cool, right?
Yeah, look up.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Eddie, wait, why are we looking up? We're audio. We're audio.
I bet all 5 people looked up at the same time.
I bet there's some people going, why am I looking up, Eddie? It crashes. Please, if you're listening to us on the way to work, drive safe. Kyle, I know you're probably listening to us at work or something. Drive your fucking rider safe, all right? Your pallet jack. Anyways, hi everybody. Welcome back. Eddie.
What?
Ask me your question again.
What'd you think of my goodbye message? Prank.
When I heard it, I teared up. Because it was
dead
almost
ass?
like, yeah, dead ass. I'm not even trying to exaggerate for the show or anything like
Right.
that. This is just me and you. The mic isn't here right now.
Yeah.
I teared
What about
up.
the chords?
Huh?
Are they here?
What?
The chords.
You know what? I'm not gonna tell you.
No, tell.
No. You're ruining my thing. I'm trying to be serious.
No,
here.
I'm okay.
No, I'm over it. It's
No,
done.
no,
It's cool.
Just tell me.
Okay,
Okay.
fine, since
fine.
you asked.
Yeah.
So, I teared up because I know you're not actually leaving, and I know we're not stopping the show anytime soon here, but it was almost like a glimpse into the future, and it hurt now. And I know, like, we've hinted at this before, like, we know exactly when we're gonna stop. And, like, even though that's still far away, the deadline gets closer every single day. And I'm like, damn, like, I don't want to do this until I'm 40 because I don't want to lose what the magic of the show is. But it's scary to see the end, coming so quick, because when we started, it was like, oh, that's far away. That's far away. And then now it's like, well, it's not so far anymore, And that's kind of like, I guess, a hint to you guys. Like, even though me and Eddie love doing this, like, this isn't the thing we're going to do forever. So at some point here, where we are going to end the show and we're going to end it on our terms. And then maybe if we get the itch again, the Moon Men would come back in another shape or form when we're all old and we have kids and shit. That would be weird.
That would be weird. It would be like that regular show final episode.
Yeah.
Where they all leave the park and then they all come back.
Like that's what this show is. Like this is the young adult version of Phineas and Ferb or any one of those shows, Drake and Josh, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's your little sitcom every week that you listen to, and like all the stories are the same and it's the same, but it's like different and it's familiar and it feels like home. But then one of those days the set clears off.
Yeah.
The mics are just standing there and the people aren't there anymore. And it reminded me of that, and it made me sad. And I was like, damn, bro, like we did create something special. Like it doesn't matter if we blow up and become the next Joe Rogan. Like I think we created something special here. And when that music started to kick in, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, that
was my favorite part of the episode.
I was like, it's just the stupid song that we don't even own the rights to. And it became so entwined with what our show is that as soon as it played, it like made me tear up. So like I have an idea for like goodbye messages now for like that final episode, because I know we played with it with that our break episode, remember?
Yeah.
And people were like, dude, that was a good episode, like the fade out was cool. But I think for our final episode, it'll be like a goodbye everybody and then walk off. And
we blast off, not walk off.
Blast off, sorry.
Yeah.
And then if we incorporate some of our songs throughout the years, where it like transitions through all of our intros. So from the OG cool. intro, and then it transitions into
the last
all
one.
Up to the last one. And then like it could even be a visual episode, so then it starts flashing through all the different issues of our cover. Oh, dude. And if you guys don't know, I know we said it last time we changed the cover, but we designed it to look like a comic book so that it could be like issues. Like this is issue number 1, issue number 2. And even though we don't do seasons, it's supposed to loosely represent an arc, an era, a season. So that's why each one kind of feels different from the last. And I like this last season. I like this last arc, whatever we're going to call it. You know? But it's time to move forward, you know? So yeah, I liked your episode a lot. But fuck you, you're not the fan favorite host. No, don't nod.
No, before we get on that.
You're not the fan favorite host.
No, hold on. Before we get on that one. You gotta admit I was cooking on that final line.
What was the final line again?
Because
you texted me a screenshot of the fucking... This man went all out for this prank. He fucking wrote out
I wrote a script.
He wrote out a script.
Yeah, look.
And then he took a picture of the final lines of the script and then put quotations on it and put like like it was a quote.
See?
He quoted himself and then he took a screenshot and sent it to me. But go ahead, give us the final line.
The final quote is, I hope that the Moon Man podcast continues to broadcast across the universe and every other universe.
That one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We could incorporate that into our last episode. Something like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the internet's a permanent place. So even if we delete the Spotify page, there's going to be versions of our show out there forever now.
Yeah. And then
that's the cool thing.
And then it's going to be turned into like a fan fiction where me and you fall in love and have a family together and have a pony named Steven.
Speaking about ponies, so... I just saw some wild shit on Instagram that I need to tell you about. Okay? Wild. So, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying stay toxic, but like in the dating community, it's very toxic right now, as you can imagine. Yes. Since you stay outside in your own lane, you don't really see it, but you get glimpses of it through me. Used to. And dude, oh my god, it's fucking toxic, right? So I saw this, it was a text message thread. And this guy's texting this girl, and he goes, hey, what time do you want me to pick you up? Where do you, you know what? No, I'm not going to ask you questions. I'm just going to fucking tell you. All right? Because you're not going to predict this. So he's all, hey, what time do you want me to pick you up? Girl sends back a video. And then underneath it, she's busy, bro. And the video is her laying in this guy's bed. And then the guy goes, hey, man, what's your name? And then he goes, Ben. And then he goes, I bet. And then he goes, LOL, why? And then he didn't answer him. So then he went to her social media page, his girlfriend's, and he found Ben. Then he went to Ben's social media page and dug through all 3,000 of this dude's followers. Went through all his pictures, everything. And Ben fucked up. Because Ben was following his sister. And Ben's sister is fine as fuck. And so he hit her up.
Oh, Lord.
And he goes, yo, what the fuck did he say? He goes, yo, are you a magnetic force because you're making parts of my body move without touching them or some shit?
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a good one. And then she was like, LOL, who even is this? And this is when I knew this man was a savage because he didn't even bother trying to come up with responses. He just put that shit into AI. So he gave that shit to the AI, and the AI robot started rizzing her up, right? And the AI's all say this. And then he goes, she's all, who even is this? And he's all, the guy that you've been waiting for your whole life. And then she's like, LOL, you think you're funny, huh? And then she goes, you're kind of cute, though. I can't even lie. And then she goes, what's your snap? And then he goes, I only do text messages, or I only do numbers, sweetie. And then she goes, fine. And then she gave him her number. And so then the next image is him texting Ben again through his girlfriend, right? And it was a picture of Ben's little sister sucking his dick. And then he goes, you recognize your sister's forehead? The world is an evil place.
Damn.
The world.
Was there a part 2? Cause dude, that it was, they were cooking. I was getting interested.
What I would have done as Ben?
What?
I would have found his mom.
Oh my god.
And we would have just kept it going until we run out of people to fuck. And then it's like, what are you doing, bro? I'll take your ass out right now. I bet I could dick you down better than you could dick me down. Like, God, what the fuck?
That would be a crazy game of chicken. Holy shit.
So while you're watching the John Cena, interviewing, he's slamming people into the tables.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked at the comments and everybody was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know who the guy is, but Ben fucked up, bro. Hey, you could keep that chick, bro. He didn't even care. He didn't go, oh, I could take you back. He was like, what's your name, bro? That's how I knew he fucked up. As soon as he's all, what's your name, bro? I was like, damn, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Stupid ass told him. Fucked up. And all the real players out there who listen to this were instantly like, I wouldn't have told him my name. I would have told him John or something. And if you thought that, you need to go to therapy because you're fucking toxic. And if you didn't think that, be smarter. Come on, if you're gonna lie, you gotta be on your toes about that shit. Everybody in this situation is wrong, but crazy, huh?
I think the only person that isn't wrong is the sister. She fell in love with the douchebag. She's the one getting hurt.
I'll show you the video after this because she is actually unironically bad as fuck.
Why, is Ben not a good-looking guy?
I don't know if Ben's a good-looking guy. It never shows Ben's face, but Ben's sister, it's up there with Stacy's mom, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Ooh.
Ben's sister and Stacy's mom.
So they both have it going on?
They both got it going on. So I'll go mow their lawn. How does the lyrics go?
I don't know.
I'm forgetting.
Stacy's mom.
Bring up a topic, Eddie. I've been talking this whole time.
Hold on, Devyn. You fucking.
I drifted into that transition.
No, you got the jam. Just spread the jam all over my body and just push me in there. What's next? You want to call me? You want me to call you daddy or some shit?
I mean, I gotta tell you about the blind circus, dude. There's a lot of shit I have to tell you about. We haven't been talking, me and Eddie, because of his new work schedule. We can't go into that, but I mean, it's gonna come up at some point. So Eddie's got a new job. Congratulations, everybody. Everybody, give him a round of applause. Yay! Somebody throw in the children's sound effect. Yay!
Oh yeah, I think that's up to you because I don't think is it in the files?
It should be in the files.
Okay.
But I mean, you could download it. Shit, throw another one in here. Yay, Eddie, yay!
I have a topic, but they're all dark and gruesome.
Let's go. Let's bounce around, bro.
Oh, fine. I'll start with one that's not that dark. Dude, I was hearing explosions at like 4 a.m. the other day. I thought
Explosions?
I thought the world was ending. Like I was expecting me to go out and the sky be on fire.
Eddie, my car's outside.
No, but it's you got insurance.
Okay, fine, okay.
But yeah, it sounded like bombs going off that way over there.
What the fuck?
Like it was like for like a good like 3 to 5 minutes. It was like a repeated boom. Every like.
Did you ever figure out what it was?
No, I didn't.
Huh?
And
like loud, like a thunder crack, or just like
it
bangs?
sounded like thunder, like this like thunder in the distance. You know how that sounds like?
What the fuck?
But it was like on a timer.
I wonder what that was. Honestly, maybe it was somebody breaking into somewhere.
For 3 minutes to 5 minutes.
It can happen.
It could happen, but yeah, I something going on in the world. Is it ending? Is the world ending soon?
You know what, buddy? Like I don't know how to transition out of that one. I'm gonna be honest. That was a weird topic.
Yeah, now I'm putting the fucking jam on you, bitch, and see how you like it.
I'm not. I'm eating the jam. I'm eating it off my own body.
Oh yeah, you are, you little whore.
Hey man, I made a promise. Don't make me break that promise.
No, I'm
not. No, not that promise.
Yeah,
not that promise.
Okay.
I made a promise about trying to be loyal and all that. Oh, that makes me sound bad. Fuck. I gotta stop talking. Eddie, change it. Hurry up. Transition. Get out of here. We're not. This isn't a deep episode. This is a heartfelt. This is a light episode. We're just supposed to bullshit this episode. We're not supposed to get deep. Dude, come on.
Okay.
We've been doing this for like 3 years.
Yeah, I know. I still get stage
Sorry.
fright.
I'm yelling. Let me calm down.
I still get stage fright.
My fault. Stage fright.
Yeah.
You mean launch fright?
AI? Should we talk about AI?
Okay, I'm gonna bring up a
Yeah,
topic. I'm gonna tell you about the blind circus.
Okay.
And I shouldn't call it that because there's no circuses in my town, and there hasn't been in like a year. So like, that's just a cruel joke that I shouldn't have said. But whatever. So, while I was at work,
right, I
happened to stop into a Target, and it was over by the university.
Oh,
I love this Target.
Me too.
I love walking into this Target.
Me too. They have great parking. Always could find parking very close to the door.
They unironically do got great parking. I actually don't know. I don't know if that Target ever gets packed.
Yeah,
Like I've gone at night. I've gone in the middle of the day. I've gone in the morning. I've gone on the weekend. I've gone during the week, and it's never packed.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah,
but our Target
is always fucking packed.
It's literally any time of the day.
You have to walk through the 7 wonders of the world in order to get to the door.
Fucking Kyle just called us and he's over there just hanging out at fucking Target. Like, what the fuck? That's like the one good store we have in our area.
Yeah. That's our Louis Vuitton.
That's I don't know what's going on in my throat recently. Pause. But like there's a weird like pain. Like you wouldn't understand because you never vaped or smoked, but like when you vape a lot and like your lungs kind of hurt, it kind of feels like that in the back of my throat. And I'm wondering what it is. I wonder if I inhaled something at work that I probably shouldn't have.
It's probably from
I was inhaling a lot of degreaser like 2 weeks ago. I'll be fine. It's all right. Yeah. So anyways, I was at this Target. And you know what? I'll just say it. I don't care. We got somebody's gotta acknowledge it. Bad bitches galore. I know we're not allowed to call them bitches or whatever, but there's only one term. I shouldn't have said them. That sounds bad. I'm fumbling left and right. Don't call women bitches, people. Just don't. Unless you want to die. That's like the one word they hate above all else. Call a woman a bitch and see how long it takes before she slits your throat. But I think it's only appropriate to call a woman a bitch when you're calling her a bad bitch, you know?
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of bad bitches over there.
It only makes sense.
You know, and it's not even all university students either. Like, there are genuinely fine-ass women, working women, real women who are walking in there just fucking fine as fuck for no reason. It's just a rich area, and everybody there's, you know, they're on their shit. So I was there, doing my own thing. It doesn't matter what I was doing there. I can't go into it. Secrets. And as I was doing my own thing, I looked over, and I was shocked because I saw a blind woman fumbling around with her walking stick.
Wait, okay.
Get it out. You got any jokes? Say your jokes now.
Why do you word it like that?
What? She was fumbling around because she was lost.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead, laugh, you dick. You're fucking laughing at somebody with this.
No,
I can't believe I laughed. I'm going to hell.
I'm laughing because...
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. Stop.
I thought you meant like she's fumbling around like she's trying to walk. That's too mid. I thought that she was trying to like see where she was navigating.
Well, she can't see, Eddie. She's using her walking stick.
Yeah, but that's what I thought.
Is this the seeing stick? What is that stick called? I'm not trying to be inappropriate here. Whatever. So she was using, I'm gonna call it her walking stick. You know, her seeing stick. She's hitting stuff to try to see where stuff is, right? But for those of you that, for whatever reason, that have never been in a Target, I mean, you know how the lanes are. They usually have like something in the middle, like these little chic little like lanes, and like maybe you have some people sampling food on the side, whatever. They do that. Don't come at me.
No, I know they do. I recently saw that.
And like it's almost like traffic lanes. Like you got the one where, like you stay to the right and everybody just moves forward. And so I think she got turned around and she didn't know like which lane she's in, so to speak. And so I'm standing there in like the refrigerator aisles, and I look over because I saw her. I noticed her because she was very pretty, even though, you know, all things considered. And she was like hitting stuff, and she walked over and she accidentally hit this guy's knee who was working on the coolers. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, is somebody there?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then she goes, "I'm very sorry. I don't mean to be rude." She goes, "I'm just lost." And she goes, "Could you point me in the right direction? Like, I'm trying to find the front of the store." And so I'm like watching this, and I'm like not too far off, maybe like 4 feet off. And I'm just watching. And this guy just like shakes his head and looks down back at his work and like blows her off entirely.
Oh, that guy's going to hell.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked over, and there's like another guy who's kind of like standing off to the side, and he's just standing there kind of observing. And so I was like, fuck that. And I walked straight over to her, and I was like, "Hi, ma'am." And I like try to I didn't wave. You didn't see that.
Oh
you didn't see that. You didn't see that. I didn't actually wave.
Oh my.
I waved to Eddie just now because I'm getting into the story, but I didn't wave in person. So I walked over and I was like, "Hi, ma'am." I was like, "If you can hear my voice, come over here." And then she like follows me, and I was like, "The front of the store is directly this way. All you have to do is walk straight." And then I was like, "Do you mind if I take your hand?" And then she goes, "No." So I took her hand and I like pointed her in the direction. Like I kind of like lined her up, and I was like, "All right, go girl. Just fucking walk straight." Because like, you know, I have a lot of friends, or I've used to have a lot of friends who had disabilities, various kinds of disabilities, and I've known blind people in the past. And people with disabilities, for the most part, in my own experience, usually don't like when you make them feel awkward about it. Like they have to deal with it. Just treat them like a person, right? So I wasn't gonna like walk her over there and like make sure she got to the door okay. I was like, "Hey, just walk straight. I know you're completely capable of getting there by yourself," basically, right? So I was like, "Go get him, girl!" And so she fucking took off. It was all hitting stuff with their stick, and I was like, wow, look at her go. And I happened to be standing there with I'll just call him my friend, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my friend. I was like, "Do you see that?" I was like, "I'm such a good guy," and he goes, "You're an asshole." And so then we started laughing and just joking, right? And we go back to our thing. Now, you can imagine the surprise on my face when we turned around and we saw a blind man standing in the aisle next to us. And I was like, huh. I was like, I don't typically see a lot of blind people in my day-to-day, happenings. When I'm running errands and stuff, I just don't run into a lot of blind people. I was like, so that's funny that I ran into one today. And then at the exact same store, 5 minutes later, I ran into a second one. I was like, huh. And he didn't need help with anything. He was just kind of going his own way. Now, my friend is an asshole because he wasn't wearing glasses. The other girl was wearing glasses. And so he was like, I don't think that guy's blind. And I was like, I don't think you're allowed to say that. And then he goes, I don't think he's blind. He keeps looking at me. And I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're going to get us thrown out. And he goes, he's not blind. Like, he's staring at me like he wants to fight. I was like, do not fight the blind man. Let's keep going. And so I get him and we walk over to a whole different aisle. And as we're walking, I look over and son of a bitch, there's a third one. And so then I was like, dude, something's happening. There's got to be a fucking deal going on. There's a discount happening today.
On what? On a walking stick?
That's fucked up.
Buy two, get one free.
Bring your friends. Oh god. Oh my god. I think that's the most offensive we've been on this show in a very long time.
I'm crying.
Oh fuck. So I was like, dude, I think there's a sale going on. Like it's a blind people day. You get a discount. And then he goes, nah, they're multiplying. And he goes, they're breeding. And I was like, you can't say they're breeding. And then he's all, they're fucking breeding. I was like, they keep disappearing into the aisles and coming out with more. And I was like, you're a fucking dickhead. And then like, this is fucked up, but we were like, what? They were kind of bumping around in the stuff, and they're like meeting each other in the aisles, and they're like hitting each other's sticks, and they're all, oh, Phil, is that you? And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then like we could see some more in the distance, and it was like we were like observing wild animals. So I was like, crikey, look it, there's another one over there. And like we see them just like, I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just making a metaphor. But it was like cows grazing, and you could see them in the distance. And I was like, dude, I think they are breeding. And so then we just completely ignored them, went about our thing. And then as we're leaving the store, so we're up at the front and we're like by the registers or whatever. And then they all like herd over to the front. And so there's like a group of them, and they're all, for whatever reason, at self-checkout.
Oh my.
And I looked at them and I was like, I don't know if they could go to self-checkout. I was like, I don't think that's smart. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? Because now I was shocked by the one lady, the beautiful lady, I was shocked by her standing there, fumbling her way through the dark. But then I saw the other guy and I was
Did
like,
you say fumbling her way through the dark?
Yeah. I was shocked at the second guy. I was taken aback by the third guy, and by the fourth guy, I was over it. And I was like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what the fuck is going on? And so I wanted to, like, talk to them, but I couldn't. Again, I can't go into specifics, but I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I just thought it was fucking wild. And they're all over there hurdled by, self-checkout. I was
How
like,
the fuck did they get there?
And I was wondering that. I was like, who brought them here? I was like, I know they didn't find their way here. So who brought them here? Like, how did this many blind people organize a meetup this big and meet up in public? Like, this is a crazy, like, I feel like I'm at a car show.
I wonder if they all knew that they were all blind.
Yeah, I wonder how many.
Yeah.
And so, as I'm wondering this, I see a big old white van pull up. A van bus, kind of like the ones that the public transportation uses, like those van buses. and it pulls up, psh, and I was like, oh, and it said, you know,
The deaf and
Mary
blind.
Shelley's Home for the Deaf and Blind. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, I'm totally gonna tell this on the podcast and go to hell. Wow, that's my blind circus story.
Nice, but why'd you call it a circus?
So that's my blind people story.
That was a good one. That was a good story, Devin.
It wasn't even supposed to be that long, but I kind of figured out a way to tell it and make it a little bit funnier.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like, I thought that was cool as fuck, because those are the kind of things that able-bodied people don't really think about. You know, we let's be honest, most able-bodied people that don't really have to deal with any serious illnesses or disabilities, we don't really concern ourselves with people who do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we do, it's usually out of like pity so that we can feel good about ourselves. And so like when I saw that, I was like, man, I think it's fucked up that I never once questioned like how blind people go about living their lives. Like, how do they get groceries? How do they get their now I know they had a fucking little party and they brought everybody over to Target for Blind People Day, and they all got fucking discounts. And
you know what I wonder how they know what product to buy.
You know, that's a good question, Eddie, because the products don't have Braille on them.
Yeah, and then especially the labels don't have Braille on them either.
Also, like, did they organize this with the store? Because none of them were, like, supervised. That's why the blind lady ended up getting lost. So I was like, they just fucking brought a herd of cows and just let them go in the store? Like, hey, go nuts. This is your vacation? Field trip day? Like, what the fuck? They're all, yeah, guys, go have fun, pick out some clothes.
No,
you each get $100. Like, they don't even know what they're grabbing.
Yeah. Or unless they're like, all right, Tim, Mary, you guys could go straight. You're gonna hit the clothes. Bobby, you're going left. Those are the coolers. I bet they all got assigned departments.
I think so. But then like this is fucked up. But I recently rewatched Cars, the movie.
Right.
And as I was telling the story in my head, they kind of reminded me of the tractor cows from Cars, like the way they're
that's fucked up.
maneuvering through the store. I know it's fucked up. I know I shouldn't have said that.
You know, it's just like Kanye, he shouldn't have said that thing about his cousin.
With the cousin shit.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that there about the moose.
But the for those of you that don't know, Eddie calls cows moose. It's an ongoing joke, and he's not allowed to stop. He has to keep going until he's dead. Because every year you keep it going, it gets funnier. Because like, did that 35-year-old man just say moose? Unironically, and nobody in his friend group reacted. Like, it just becomes funny.
I wish I call pigs oinks.
Nah, I think then it becomes too much. I just like the moose because it's unexpected.
Oh,
because like you call every other animal what they are, and then for whatever reason you just call the cows the sound they make. And one of these days I'm gonna get a picture of you standing next to a cow, and no, your ex doesn't count. Cut that joke out.
Okay.
I'm cutting it out. Somebody cut it out.
Somebody out there. Hello.
Let me rephrase it. No, tortas don't count.
Oh, okay. What kind of tortas do you like?
What? Emo tortas.
No, not fucking women tortas, you idiot. The food tortas.
I just like standard tortas. Like,
Okay.
I don't even get them that often, so like I don't have a preference. Like, if somebody hands me a torta, I'll eat it.
Oh.
Pause. You don't take that out of context. I don't want to have to start rejecting the tortas in my Instagram. Like, that's gonna be fucked. Ironically, I don't think I'm not gonna. Eddie, transition. Hurry up before I say something stupid.
All right.
Tortas are the last people we want to offend because they're the only good women left on this earth.
That's true.
Most of them. Because some of them are crazy.
Yeah.
Some of them are not right in the head and for some reason have too much confidence. But some of them, they're fucking fabulous women. Great personalities.
Yeah. I agree.
Shout out to the women in the audience, by the way. I was looking at metrics, and for the entire lifeline of our show, Eddie, we have had a strong female fan base of 10 to 15%, and it has never dropped below 10%.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to the women who have been listening to the show from the get-go, and for whatever reason, for some stupid fucking reason, keep listening to the show. But also, shout out to the bros, the guys that tune in every week. Again, I don't know why you guys are here, but fuck it. Maybe you find us funny. If you do, I mean, feel free to comment or some shit. Let's try to get our engagement up. Right, Eddie?
Uh-huh.
You're not even listening.
I was trying to read the topic.
Did you get one? Did you find one?
Sort of.
Dude, I have a bunch.
I have a bunch, but they're not...
Like, some of them I do need to research, so we can't talk about it. Like the Russian nuke attacks.
Okay.
And just to brush by it real quick, Russia fired allegedly on accident some nuclear warheads over to Ukraine, and more specifically, Chernobyl. And for those of you that don't know, they recently did this giant, not recently, but over the last 20 years, they've been building this $5.8 trillion structure that will cover the most radioactive part of Chernobyl because it can leak into the air and cause all kinds of issues, yada, yada, yada. So they built this giant structure, cost billions of dollars, took like 20 years to make. They had to build it in a whole different city and transport it over there on big-ass fucking trucks that are like the size of skyscrapers. And they literally put it in there. And then not even like a couple months later, fucking Russia destroyed it. And they said that it was a mistake. But because of that, tons of radioactive waste and gamma rays and a bunch of other nuclear stuff that I won't go into so I don't confuse you guys is leaking out into the air and can cause some serious side effects. And if it's proven to be intentional, that goes against the Geneva Convention. And this happened at, I want to say, the beginning of April, and no major news outlets are talking about it.
Of course.
And the only reason I found out about it was from some underground reporters that happened to go viral on YouTube. And so they were the ones talking about it. And everybody in the comments was shocked because this is happening and everybody's covering it up. Mm-hmm. Because then if it's found that Russia is going against the Geneva Convention, then it turns into an all-out war. And I think they're trying to avoid that at this point. So they're trying to suppress how much information gets out so that we don't have to go to war because everything's really unstable right now.
Yeah.
Although, it would be great for the economy. So, what was your topic?
It's about AI. I know you don't want to talk about AI.
No, we can talk about AI now. We just can't talk about it first thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because we were the ones that told everybody AI was going to take over the world in the very first episode. And when we talked about it, we talked more about like robots killing people, but now it's just everywhere. So we were right. AI took over.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because there's going to be schools already getting taught by AI.
What the fuck?
So they did a study. The first school I think was like in North Carolina, and it was the worst school district in America. They put this AI in, and now they're like top 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if it's working that well, I can understand.
And now they're gonna bring one over to Phoenix. They're gonna do like 5 more cities and see how those students do.
Huh.
But
well, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the United States.
Yeah.
And I have to keep reminding myself that because it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't. But it's also because Arizona's dead last in
education?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No wonder I feel so smart here, dude. I'm probably like average, but because everybody here's so dumb, no offense, people. I love all of you. Thank you for listening. It probably makes, that's why I feel like Megamind a lot of the time.
And the AI doesn't do like a traditional type of teaching.
It does like videos, instructional. I mean, because we've seen, so the dead internet theory, we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Briefly, to recap for those of you that don't know or just need a refresher, dead internet theory basically insinuates that 90% of all the content that we consume on the internet is created by AI, even videos that don't seem like they're created by AI. That means articles, videos, TikToks, Instagram posts, Instagram, pages, Facebook pages, conversations with people. Like 90% of all the content you interact with on the internet is AI. Allegedly, according to this theory.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm sure we've all stumbled onto one of those videos that has like a Greek god and you could tell like it's AI, but then an AI voice pops up and the little text pops up and it's talking about history, and then we watch the whole fucking thing, right? If it's doing content like that, it becomes fun.
Well, it said that it only does 2 hours of regular teaching, like their standard math, science, reading, shit like that. But for the rest of the day, it focuses on public speaking, on finance, and I think the last one was like entrepreneurship.
That's cool. I like that.
And so do I.
Now-
Because the education system is so outdated that it's setting the new generation up for failure.
You're right. It's extremely outdated, and I know it's cool to riff on school, especially when you're in school, but I think it's very necessary, and that's what I mean. I like that. I like that they're trying to teach real world skills, but I think it'd be better if we had teachers doing it.
No, because with this AI, it's one-on-one.
Okay, then that is even better. We can create a job market for way more teachers. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't becoming teachers, but let's say they change the entire structure of the educational system. That would probably inspire people who might have wanted to teach or had an ambition to teach to consider it, especially if they know they have job security and they get to focus on a handful of students rather than a whole group of students, right?
Yeah, but...
Because then you know what that's going to do? I know it sounds cool on paper. They changed the whole school district and all that, yada, yada. Congratulations. Good job, AI. Children's sound effect now. Good job, AI. Yay. Congratulations. But now all the teachers in that school district are going to get fucking shunned. They're going to get shit talked to. They're going to get fired most likely, or they're going to get delegated to menial tasks and get paid even worse to do absolutely nothing. And now they can't even go home and be justified with what they do. They can't feel satisfied with their work. So their entire life was spent, hey, let me go teach. And now robots like, I could teach better than you. And so the school district's like, sorry, buddy. That sucks.
But it sucks, but it's a new era. And it's either you keep up or you just get left behind.
Exactly. But why don't they create a system where teachers can use AI tools to help them with the workload, but it's still like teachers are doing the teaching. Well, and it's like a class of 5 instead of a class of 30.
And it all has to come down to funding.
I know that. I'm not trying to go into semantics here. I'm just saying that would be cool if we could get to a situation like that.
No, I don't think that there should be people teachers anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't have any teachers in your experience that like stuck with you after the fact or helped you become better?
Yeah, one out of the fucking 50 that I had over the school. But to be fair, there's a lot of shitty teachers out there. There's more shitty teachers than good teachers.
Yeah, and that's true with everything. But we shouldn't make the good teachers pay, because one good teacher is worth every single one of those bad teachers.
Yeah,
and I can't really personally speak to it because, I had amazing teachers, but I wouldn't say any single one of them, set me on a different path.
Yeah, no, none of my teachers were life-changing.
But there are kids out there who, let's say, come from a bad situation, right? Mm-hmm. Meet a teacher who completely changes their life, and because of that one person, they end up going and succeeding in life when they weren't originally supposed to.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but imagine that with AI.
Then it feels like inauthentic almost.
It does, but...
Oh, you did it because a robot told you to? Like, have some free will. That's my brother talking. Mm. And you know what? That's a fair point. Like, why would you do it because the robot told you to do it? At that point, it's like, don't even go to school. What's the robot going to do? Give you more homework? But if there's a person behind it, then there's a little bit more of a emotional connection. Because it sounds dumb, but we need people. We need that emotional connection.
Yeah, we do. It's just in this case, that's one thing AI. That's one thing I could get behind AI is teaching. Because
it reminds me of the art situation. Like, to be fair, I know we use AI art in some of our creations. We used it on our cover, but that's more of like a meta joke because we're always talking about AI.
Right.
But like, it reminds me of the art thing because like there are genuinely artists now who had to switch careers because AI can do everything. Photographers had to stop. There are some photographers who are considering and who have had to stop doing photography because one, now everybody's a photographer, or at least they think they are. And two, AI can generate a picture of you and your family that looks exactly how you want it to look in 30 seconds. So you don't even have to get everybody together. And yeah, that's cool. That's convenient. That's awesome. But like, now those people don't get to do what they love.
Well, they could do it. It's just they're not going to get paid for it.
And that sucks.
And it does suck. But if you stop doing it because you're not getting paid, then you weren't really passionate for it.
Or maybe you were, but circumstances mean you can't do it the same way.
Like with us, we're not getting paid for this, and yet we still do it. And
that's true. That's a good point. But, to be fair, let's have some perspective here. Although neither of us are coming from very blessed backgrounds, we're not coming from the hardest backgrounds either.
That's true.
Where we have very stable lives, and so it gives us the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, but we also can't walk in everybody's shoes.
I know, it's just those are the things that we should discuss because everybody, for the most part, is going to hop on the Eddie train, right? Oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, fuck teachers. Let's get rid of teachers. And then that becomes the conversation. And if no one ever says, hey, well, what about the teachers? Then before we could do anything to stop it, we're going to turn around and look, and now there's no more teachers. And now we're letting a robot that's unsupervised just dictate how people are going to come out now.
Well, it's going to be supervised. I'm pretty sure there's going to be teachers. It's going to be like in WALL-E with the captain and the robot.
Bro, WALL-E scares the shit out of me.
Me too. But it's going to be something like that, I think.
And you know why? Because I know everyone says that, hey, we're getting closer to WALL-E every day, yada, yada. And it's true, but like, look at it. Look at the way, like, we talk about it all the time. Look at the way people are on their phones.
Yeah.
I genuinely had a really sad moment yesterday. I actually had a mental breakdown yesterday, but we're not going to get into that on the show. And there was a moment yesterday that just felt more surreal than it actually was because of everything that was happening to me. And I was staring at this couple, this beautiful young couple at this restaurant that I was at. And, you know, the girl was absolutely gorgeous. The guy was handsome. They're both like young. They look like they're doing well for themselves. But it just, something about their dynamic just hurt because they weren't talking to each other whatsoever. And not only that, they were like a perfect image of the state of the world, you know, young, beautiful, set up to do whatever they want in life and completely stuck in all of the wrong bullshit. The guy sitting there eating all his food and his girlfriend doesn't have any food next to him. And I don't know the circumstances. Maybe she wasn't hungry, but she didn't have no water next to her. She didn't have a drink. She didn't have anything. She didn't have a plate. And he's sitting there eating all this food and they're both just staring at their phones. And she looks miserable. He looks bored and like he doesn't want to be there. And they're just sitting there and they're just like, to me, I was like, they don't realize what a blessing it is to just be sitting here and fucking being able to taste this food and just be here. Like, yeah, this is a shitty restaurant in a shitty part of town. Don't get me wrong. But like, you guys are young. You got nothing wrong with you. You know, you're in a relationship with each other. You're both beautiful. Like, how come you're sitting here so miserable? I was like, what the hell? And why are you guys so glued to your phones? And then I looked around. Everyone's glued to their phones. And it just feels like the fucking WALL-E thing. You know, FaceTiming each other when you're like down the street from each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, texting each other or sending each other memes on a group chat when you're sitting right next to each other. It's like, what the fuck?
It's
like, why are we so absorbed with consumption. Because all we do now is consume food and content and fucking alcohol and drugs and whatever. Like, that's all we do is consume, and it's sad.
That's always been human nature, though. And
it's not just always been. I think it got exacerbated with, modern eras. Like, I'd say from the, like, maybe 20s upward, it just became about consumption.
No, it's always been about consumption. Always. It was a
Eddie, I love you, but I am not going to let you sit here and tell me some blanket ass statement like it's always been about consumption when I know damn well in the medieval ages they weren't worried about consumption in the same way we're worried about it now. They did it to fucking survive. They were worried about just surviving. It's not always been about consumption. A lot of times life was just about living. And nowadays we don't live, we consume.
Okay, when have we ever lived?
I don't think there's ever been a moment where humanity collected. Hold on. All
right.
You get really heated, man.
All right.
Take a breath.
All right.
You good?
Are you going to continue?
I'm just making sure. I don't think there's ever been a moment where humanity has collectively been able to go, it's just about living. But I know there have been plenty of times in different regions, different eras throughout the years where we've gotten close. And it seems like nowadays people aren't really concerned with trying to get close anymore. The thing they're really concerned about is, are MGK and Megan Fox still together? Oh, this is the new meme. Can 100 men beat up one gorilla? And I think we can collectively if we all work together. I don't know what this whole waves thing is, but why don't we all just jump in at once, Anyways, we'll get to that another time. We're just worried about some of the dumbest shit sometimes, right? And sometimes focusing on the dumb shit is the point. So don't get me wrong. It's really, really, really nuanced. But when you look around, like when we go out in public next time, I'll point it out to you. Everybody's like this.
No, yeah, I've noticed it. I notice it too, especially when I go out to eat by myself. I see it.
And now it is the state of the world. You're completely right about that. But do you think there's anything wrong with it? Do you think there was something better about us being a lot more in the moment, in the past, or do you think it's better now? And you can be honest. I mean, if you genuinely prefer, because I know you're more introverted, you're not as social. So if this is like a reality where you can say like, yeah, I think I'm happier here, that's fine. I just want your thought on it.
I think it's both. It's better now, but it was also good to have that human connection.
And that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, AI is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I despise AI as a concept, and it scares me as a weapon and as a tool. But I can appreciate that there are things about it that are really cool, really unique, and really interesting, right? What I don't like is how it separates people. Because as I'm getting older, as I'm becoming, more in tune with myself and the world and figuring out what I want from life, I look around and I realize that I really do enjoy having connections with people. And you don't really realize that until you have some of those lonely, lonely fucking days where you're just like, damn, I want somebody to talk to. And you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And unironically, I think we're getting closer and closer to that with the things that are supposed to be connecting us.
But I feel like you're...
I'm looking at it from a pessimistic point of view. Don't get me wrong.
But I feel like every time you look, you're always... what's that thing you say? You attract...
Negativity?
No. You attract what you're scared of or something like that.
Oh, I think I get what you're trying to say. Like, you're going to see what you want. And if you come at it from a negative perspective, you're going to see the negative. Yeah. But if you look at it from the positive, you're going to see the positive.
Yeah, because, like, let's say 5 minutes before you walked into that restaurant, that couple was laughing their ass off. And the moment you walked in and sat down, a second after that, you saw that they were miserable. Like, you really don't know what happened 5 minutes before you walked into that restaurant. I mean, and even after you left, let's say they were still there,
That's a good point. That's a fair point. But
And-
to counteract it a little bit, I watched them walk in. I watched them sit down.
I know. Okay, before
But
they,
I get what you're
yeah,
saying. I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
It's,
My thing is, yeah, it could have been like they got in a fight or something. Now they're not talking to each other, and
Yeah.
he's all, I'm not gonna buy you fucking food or whatever, right? Like I could just caught them at an inopportune time. But that's why I made the point of mentioning everybody in the restaurant was just staring at their phone, like their fucking feed changed, you know? Like they're following the same 500 people.
like
Why are you checking your phone that religiously? You're not that important. You're not a fucking celebrity. Nobody's messaging you this much.
I think,
And even if they are, like you're hanging out with people, right? Like I know we do it and we're bad at it, especially like on the show sometimes. But for the most part, when I'm with you, I'm not really on my phone, right? And I'm not like texting other people while I talk to you. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are times. I know I've done it. But that's specific instances where I'm like, hey, hold on, Eddie. I don't mean to be rude. Let me answer this person. Don't talk to me. I'm not going to hear you, right? For the most part in public, like if you really, really people watch, it's not like they're taking a second to be on their phone and they're going back to the conversation. They're not even having conversations. That's why you go to restaurants now and it's so fucking quiet.
no, and it's that goes back to the point I made. You attract what is it? You attract what you believe, or something like that.
I don't know what you're trying to. I don't know what phrase.
It's
you're
because
trying to say.
it's
What
because
phrase you attract?
Okay, so let me give you my example.
Wait, hold on. What's the phrase you keep bringing up? The you attract.
You attract what
What you want, what you seek, what you think about.
I think it's you attract what you fear, or something.
I haven't heard that.
No, I probably have the saying wrong, but whatever the case.
Okay.
When I noticed this about myself, when I go out to eat by myself in a restaurant, I sit down, I don't use my phone. I'm just there.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Culver's like 2 weeks ago, and the whole restaurant was packed, and all I heard was laughter. I saw one person on their phone. I saw an old couple, maybe 80s, sitting across from me having a conversation. The workers were having a fucking jolly old time working with each other. So I don't see what you see.
I'm not saying this is the standard.
No,
I'm not
I
saying
know.
like you're gonna see this everywhere, because don't get me wrong, you're not. You will see people interacting. That's why it's much more noticeable now, because there are still glimpses of, I guess, the past. And I saw it today, like glimpses of that old world, because I went to the mall today to meet up with some friends, and it was fucking packed. I know they said malls are dying. I couldn't find parking. Like, I drove around looking for parking for 10
I don't know why they
minutes.
say that. Our malls are always fucking packed.
Dude, it was packed. But, like, as I was walking around, like, yeah, I did see a lot of people on their phones. But I saw more people not on their phones. And it genuinely made me happy, right?
Yeah, no,
But there is a growing amount of people who are on their phones. And me, as someone through my line of work who has to be out in the world every single day, like, this is just from my own personal experience. There are days where I walk into a restaurant and it's lively and it's, fun, and you want to be there because it feels like a good atmosphere. And there are other times, much more common, where it's the exact opposite.
No, I'm just
Motherfucker, you can't say no, because this is my perspective. You can't be like, no, that don't happen.
You didn't let me finish. You cut me off.
I didn't cut you off.
Yes, I did. I was like, no. Coming from my experiences,
You still can't lead with no, though. You see how that sounds, right?
Okay. Coming from my
There
experiences,
you go. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I'm living your life,
Mm-hmm.
and you're living my life.
Well, what's funny is when I go out by myself too, I don't use my phone, and that's why I was like, huh? I thought you would have.
No, my phone's boring. I'm gonna be seeing the same fucking tweets every time.
Thank you. I just said that. Somebody heard that.
I only use my phone here when I'm at home by myself.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times where like people are just bugging me, but for the most part, yeah, I'm like scrolling through Instagram and shit at home.
Yeah. But it's weird because, like I said, you're living my life, I'm living your life. It's weird.
What do you mean?
Like, today, Whenever you experience that, where everybody was on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've never experienced that.
Really?
Never. I probably experienced it once and forgot about it. But for the most part, every time I walk into a restaurant by myself, every time I go into a store by myself, people are always talking, laughing. There's a couple people on their phone, but they're just looking at their phone to look at their phone.
I don't know why I'm so hyper fixated on it too, because we had this discussion too many times. But for whatever reason, I'm like very aware to those kinds of things. And so like even when I'm in a group of people, I don't always bring it up. I almost never bring it up when I'm actually out in public, but I notice it literally every time I go out. And there are days where it just feels like AI's taking over. And there are days where it feels like our phones have won and we're disconnected. And I see a lot, with my family too. No disrespect to my family, but... And they can get a little bit of a pass because you see your family all the time. So you're not going to have things to say to your family all the time. But there have been genuine moments where we're all just trying to experience things together as family, have a little moment. And then like we look over and two people are just like this on their phones. And we're like, hey. And we like call them over like, what are you doing? Like, what? Come on, be in the moment.
I'm guilty of that because when my brother comes over and we're all together as a family, I'm on my phone. But I do that as a safety mechanism because I know the moment I give them attention, they're gonna start shooting bullets at me.
I know. We don't have to go into that. I know your situation and like everybody's situation is different. That's why I'm like, you can't go based off of everybody or every situation because that is a handy trick. Now, if you're in a situation where you don't want to talk to people, you have the best excuse right here in your fucking pocket. To just be like, oh, hold on, I gotta check some emails or whatever, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely benefits. I guess it just makes me sad a little bit sometimes when I look at it from that perspective because I eventually want to have a family one day. And I want to be able to bring them into a world that is lively and that feels exciting to live in and that is full of possibilities, right? So to speak. Like, that's the world everybody wants to live in. And I don't want to bring them into the world and everybody's just like a zombie and it sucks. And it's like, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't think it was going to be like this. It was cool when I was growing up, because then that sucks. And then I'm like, well, I can try to do something to stop it with my little tiny voice and my little shitty show. But I don't know. I'm always kind of hyper fixated on that. And I'm just kind of.
And I think that's why you see a lot more because you're hyper fixated on it and you're attracting that a lot more and more.
I wouldn't say I'm attracting it because attracting it is when you're hyper fixated to the point that that's all you talk about and then like you're expecting to see it everywhere you go. I don't actively I don't pull up to like a Walmart going, I wonder if people are going to be on their phones at the Walmart. I just go to Walmart and then I get there and I'm walking in and I'm minding my own business and then I happen to look around and I'm like, oh, there it is. And there's like 10 people in a group just on their phones. And I'm like, see, another example. And then I just walk out and I go about my day. That's kind of how I see it, like when I do encounter it.
And how whenever I tell you, oh, tomorrow's gonna be a long day, I'm gonna do another 15-hour day. You tell me, don't what's the word?
Don't jinx it?
I guess. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. I'm, in a way, attracting that 15-hour day. And it's not because I'm hyperfixating it. I'm just saying it's going to be a long day.
Well, there is a way that you talk about things that happen in your life, especially upcoming things, that feels like you're attracting it versus how I'm talking about this. So if I may, can I paint the picture real quick?
Okay.
So when I talk about this, for example, right, you're trying to make the point of I'm attracting it, like I want to see this stuff, and I don't. Just like you don't want to work a 15-hour shift. But look at the way we talk about it. So when I say it, I'm like, these are things that I'm noticing out in the world. Every time I go here, this is what I notice. But I'm not actively looking for it. I'm not getting down at these Targets and Walmarts, or I'm not going to these fucking In-N-Outs and staring and hoping that I see people on their phone, because why the fuck would I? I don't give a shit that much. If everyone's on their phone, I mean, like, I can't run around stealing phones from people going, stop, wake up, you're in a simulation. Like, fuck it, whatever. Let them be an NPC. It's fine. But I will see it. I will notice it. And I will call it out because I don't give a shit. Right? And I've even said it in public. And I don't do it with you because I know you don't like when I'm too crazy in public and bring attention towards us. But I'll be like, man, look at everybody on their phones. And then people like look around at me and I'm like, what? I mean, you are. Right? And that's how I kind of go about it. Now, your example with the whole 15-hour workdays, right? You talk about it like an inevitability. And to an extent, I do too with the phone things, but I'm never talking about it in a future sense. I'm talking about it more in a present sense and past tense sense. That is so hard to say. Excuse me. So you talk about it like, I'm going to have a 15-hour day tomorrow. And I'm like, don't say that because you're jinxing it. You're trying to attract a 15-hour day. And you're like, no, I'm not. I don't want to work a 15-hour day, but I'm going to have a 15-hour day. I never go, I'm going to go to this Walmart and see everyone on their phones. I never go, I'm going to go to this restaurant and I'm going to see a bunch of angry couples. I go, oh, I can't wait to go to this restaurant. And that's the difference. So it's how you talk about it in the future sense. So if you're talking about it in the future, like you know what's going to happen, the law of attraction states that because you're believing it's going to happen, the universe has to bend to your will. And so it's going to end up happening because you truly believe you're going to have a 15-hour day. Like there's nothing I could tell you like to convince you that you're not. And there's nothing anybody can tell you except your boss. But he's not going to reach out to you and be like, hey, Eddie, it's going to be a 15-hour day or it's going to be an 8-hour day because they don't do that, right? So you have no way of actually confirming whether or not you're going to have a 15-hour day. So in your head, and I know it's your belief system, right? Expect the worst and hope for the best, which is, I guess, yeah, it's a healthy mindset to have. But because of that, I've seen where you take it to an extreme. And so you always expect the worst thing to happen. You always expect the most negative outcome. You always expect it so that you're not disappointed and so that you're not hurt and so that you can deal with it, right? But because of that and because you expect it so much, it continues to happen. What was the whole joke with you in relationships, right? You're always talking about how it's not going to work out with this person and so it doesn't. Because it doesn't. And you won't allow yourself to have hope because you don't want your hope to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you're always going to run into the negativity. Mine is the actual, like literally other side of the coin where it's like, I can see the negativity, but I'm hoping for the positivity. And my hope gets destroyed every day. But then I wake up with a little bit of new hope because somebody else inspired me. Yeah, I saw a negative couple that same day, but you know what? I saw a happy older couple later that day. That I'm not talking about because and that's the fucked up part. I should talk about the positive stuff too. But you know what? That little couple inspired hope. So yeah, the young couple sucks. Our world sucks right now. It's fine. But the older couple gave me hope. Like, hey, they made it through a bunch of shit. They made it through a Great Depression, through 2 world wars, maybe. I don't know if they're that old. They made it through Vietnam. They made it through Korea. They made it through recessions. They made it through global conflicts. They made it through a lot of shit and they came out on the other side and they're happy even in these bleak times. That gives me hope. So that's kind of the mindset. When you're looking at it, when you're looking at the future, if you expect a negative, you're going to get negative. But if you expect positive, you might get positive. You might not, but you might. So why not hope? What's the worst you got to lose? Damn, that was kind of a bar. Hold up.
Shut the fuck up. My mom's sleeping.
Sorry.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
Man.
Sorry, that was a bar though. I was kind of spitting.
I lost my train of thought after that.
Yeah, that was a good yell, man. That scared me. I covered my mouth and everything.
Shit. Hopefully
what time is it? I think she would have woken up from your yell versus my yell because it was about the same. But yours was bah!
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she fucking barges through that door and tells us shut up.
That would actually be kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Do you see my point though? With
yeah,
the whole,
I see your point, but like
I'm not gonna ask you to change your view either. That's your view.
Yeah. But like I said, my for some reason my luck is not like everybody else. I have
But it's because of the way you believe.
but no, that's bullshit to me. It is because I hope for the best, and yet every time I get the best, I get the worst fucking outcome. Okay, like for example, like this is like a very outlandish outcome.
Sure,
all right?
go ahead.
I'm like, all right, I got these brand new shoes. I'm gonna.
He's making an example, people. This didn't actually happen.
I got these brand new shoes. I can't wait to go show it to Devyn at his house. I get in the car, still clean. I fucking drive to your house, still clean. I walk up the driveway, still clean. But the moment I step on your fucking porch, I step in dog shit.
That's very likely too.
That is. And the entire time, I'll be excited. I'll be very hopeful that you'll get to see these brand new shoes clean. And then that shit happens.
You know what I think it is? I think it's a combination of a couple different things. And I've been observing you for a long time as your best friend. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but, try to listen if you can. I think it's a combination of a couple different things. I know that, and we can censor some of this if we have to, but I'm just going to tell it raw, okay?
Okay.
I know that you have a fear of letting people down and that you hate the feeling of someone being disappointed in you.
Okay.
And I know you hate the feeling of disappointment in yourself too, whether it be through an outcome that you expected or something that you thought you were going to be able to do. And so because of that, and because of the hurt that you felt at some point in your life, a coping mechanism you may have developed is shooting low and blending in and not expecting things and letting your hope die out so that you don't experience that hurt. Another thing is, like you said, the shoe example, right? To me, that's almost like you trying to control things that are out of your control. Like, yeah, you have some new shoes and you would love to show me the brand new white shoes. You don't want to get them dirty. But you know what I was thinking of when you said that? It reminded me of that SpongeBob episode where he is trying to take a picture for his driving school. And so he makes himself look as perfect as he can.
Yeah, I remember
and
that
then
episode.
runs to the driving school, and the entire day, like, people keep trying to get him dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's an example of your life, right? I mean, it's just, let me cook. So he's obsessed about this one outcome, and this one outcome is he doesn't want to get dirty. 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 Picture day, he can't get dirty. And because of that, what happens? He gets dirty. And not only does he get dirty, he gets fucked up, like, all throughout the episode. And he loses his shit by the end. Before the whole resolution, he loses his shit. And he breaks down because he's, like, trying to control shit that he can't control. And he cares too much about shit that he probably shouldn't care about. And I think we all do that as people, right? And so I can see a situation where after that, if he didn't get that resolution at the end of the episode, he turns into a person that goes, well, let me just expect the bad now so that I don't feel that way ever again. And then the few times that he does start to get hope, he becomes very obsessive about how to go about things. He becomes very controlling about the situation and how things should play out so that he can feel a certain type of way. And I think part of growing up and part of maturing is letting go and realizing that you can't control everything and that you shouldn't want to either, because that's a fucking headache. And that things come and go and it's going to be bad and it's going to be good. Like, I literally had a breakdown yesterday and I still woke up this morning and fucking had a smile on my face, right? You can't control everything. And bad things are going to happen regardless if you expect it or if you don't expect it. But why would you want to live your entire life expecting bad? Yeah, it saves you a little bit of hurt, but it also robs you of any joy that you could feel. The highs are never going to be as high because you're always riding low. Oh my God, I'm so good at this, dude. I'm fucking cooking right now. Anyways, I think it's a situation like that. It's like, if you're always obsessed on the worst outcomes, then like you said, that's all you're going to see. You're going to see all the obstacles. And then You're going to be hyper fixated on the obstacles, and then God forbid one of the obstacles actually gets in your way. You're going to be like, see, everybody, look it. I called it. Didn't I tell you? Look at Devyn. I told you. Look it. My shoes got dirty. I told you they were going to get dirty. Fuck that. I'm never buying shoes again. Look it. Why? Because they got dirty. Nope. I'm not doing it no more. And then you know what? You miss out on the next drop of shoes. You miss out on the John Cena collab. You're, I want to buy these John Cena shoes, but I can't because they're going to get dirty. Or you know what? How about I buy them and then I wrap them in, silicone, and I put them in a frame and I put them in a box, and then I keep them safe forever. Well, yeah, I guess you could do that if you really wanted to, but you didn't get to wear the shoes from that you wanted so bad. And yeah, you can show your friends when they come over, but it's going to be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Those are the Cenas, right? Yeah, those are tight. And you don't really get the same experience. Part of living life is accepting that things are going to go bad and just being okay with it. I know my car is going to get scratched over time. I know the paint's not going to be, it's hard for me to admit, so give me a second. I know the paint's not going to be perfect forever. I know I'm going to have to buy tires. I know my rims are going to get fucked up. I know parts of it are going to get rusty. I know in 20 years it's probably not even going to run that well. But it might, because it's a Toyota. The point is, it's something that you have to be okay with. Because if I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy a car because in 10 years it's not going to run, so what's the point? Well, then I just lost out on 10 years of memories that I could have had with that car. I lost out on 10 years of connections that I would have made with that car. I lost out on 10 years of adventures I would have taken in that car. I lost out on 10 years of trying new things that car would have inspired me to do. And I'm seeing it firsthand, ironically, with the car. And I try to justify not buying that car beforehand, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I postponed some of my life choices for that car, because I'm getting to witness that firsthand. And that's something that we just got to learn, expect, and accept from life. That's my perspective on it. So if you're always expecting the bad, you're always expecting relationships to fall through, you're always expecting long work days, and you're always expecting that bad thing, and you expect it like it's going to happen, there's nothing I can do about it, and then it happens and you point at it and go, see, then you're just robbing yourself of maybe living a little bit more of a fulfilling life. But if you're happy with how your life is, then I can't tell you to change. And I'm not going to. I accept you for who you are, and I did 12 years ago, 13 years ago when I met you. I'm just glad you're still my friend. Thank you, Eddie. I love you.
Whatever. Side tangent.
Mm-hmm. God damn it. We went for an hour and a half. I didn't mean to go this long.
One of my supervisors was giving me like compliments and shit. I almost hit him with the whatever.
You should. You should. Is it who I'm thinking of?
No, it's not who you're thinking.
The girl?
No.
Damn. Dude, that would have been fun.
But yeah, I think when I first started, she's like, "Oh, you're doing a good job." I was about to hit her with the whatever.
You should hit him with the whatever, dude. They're not expecting that. That's like my favorite shit. Like, me and my brother will literally say that to each other. It's our own ongoing joke. I'll be like, you know what, bro? I'm glad we're playing this game together. I'm having a good time. He'll be like, whatever. Or he'll be like, hey, bro, I saved you a slice of pizza. Like, I think you'll like it. And I'll be like, whatever. And then we just start laughing. So I think you should hit him with the whatever.
Yeah, I should have that day. But back to the point.
Mm-hmm.
When I for some reason, when I get that good and I get surprised by that good when I was expecting the outcome, I take it as a reward.
It is a reward.
Because I don't get those as often.
Ooh, that was kind of a bar. It is kind of a reward, and you should look at it as a reward. But if you're looking at it from that perspective, wouldn't you want rewards more often? You're a gambling man, right? No offense. So look at it like stakes. If you play the negative card, and I'm not trying to call you negative, these are just the terms I'm choosing. If you play the negative card, your chances of hitting something positive drop to 15%, let's say. But when they hit, you get a 5% bonus on the dopamine, the good feeling, right? Now, if you play the positive card, your chances of something positive happening shoot up to 50%. But because of how often you're going to be winning, it's not always going to hit as hard. Which one would you rather go with?
I think I'll go with the safest option.
To me, the safest option feels like the one where I'm going to win more, not the one where I'm going to lose more.
But you're also a very...
That's statistics right there.
But you're a very impulsive person.
That has nothing to do with joy.
It does.
Not in this specific regard. My impulse has nothing to do with
because
outcomes.
It does.
Not in this example.
Yes,
I get where you're trying to go with it.
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to go with it. But like this is all about perspective. My impulse has nothing to do with perspective. Impulse is a byproduct of my personality. Positive card, you're gonna win more often. Negative card, you're not gonna win as often. Now, the safest option to you is the negative because then you're getting the outcome you expect more often. But that's not safe. That's boring. Safe is something where you know you're going to be... Like, if it was money, you would choose option A because you know that over time, those $5 are going to add up versus maybe a $10 here or there. You're like, hey, option A, I can get $5 at least 2 to 3 times a week. And so by the end of the year, I'll have a lot of money compared to the option B where I might get a $10 on a Monday if I'm lucky. Or it might be 2 weeks before I get one. It's statistics. So at this point, as a question to you and anybody who's actively listening to this, why not go for option A? What do you got to lose? And if it seems scary, look at it like this. You're in a very blessed position where you have people like me around you who care about you and who support you and who aren't going to let those bad days ever bring you down truly. You know? So you always have people around you who are always going to lift you back up, and we're never going to let those bad days kill you, so to speak. So why the fuck not? We're your safety net. You have a safety net and you have the bet that's going to get you more positivity over time, and you're still choosing the negative one because it's a more predictable outcome? Fuck that.
No, because again, that's you living life in the fast lane.
That's
and
literally...
that's the impulse.
Wait, hold on.
Pause.
No.
It's
that's
my turn.
It's my turn.
Hold on.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm trying to.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Chill.
Because you just had a 20-minute monologue.
I know.
And then I come in for 30 seconds and you go for 20 more minutes.
I know. That's my bad. I should have finished up properly. I think that 20-minute monologue, as you said, is the best way I can explain it. I think that's the best way I've ever explained it to you, to be fair.
It has. Okay, I'll give you that. Here's a star.
That's the best way I think I've ever explained it. So if that way doesn't really kind of express my point, then I don't know if I'm the right person to tell you any of this. Maybe it has to be the future love of your life. I don't know. Maybe it has to be your mom.
No, I understand it. And we're just two completely different people. That's it. And it's because of your actions that you get that joy. You're like, fuck it. If I break a bone, I break a bone. But I have those memories. I'll be like, what? No, I still want my bone. I don't care about those fucking memories. I want my bone because I know in 50 years, this bone is going to save me. While you're going to be fucking dying of that pain with that broken bone you got. But you have those memories. Like, we're just two completely different people. And no matter how we play it, the outcome is still going to be the same.
Can I ask a question?
What?
How does my impulse to do things like that pertain to my choice to live positively?
Because if you always want to go after seeking, like you're the type of person that wants to go and seek memories no matter what. And that's you being optimistic that you're gonna find those memories. Me, I'm not a sentimental person. I'm not gonna find those memories, but yeah, I'm still making memories by being present in my own little world, whether or not it's negative. Because for the most part, we always remember the negative instead of the positive. Like you didn't tell me about the old married couple, the happy couple. You started off with that depressing couple.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I lost my train of thought.
We focus on the negative.
We focus on the negative, regardless. And you seeking that hope, that hopefulness, you're still gonna get it regardless. Because again, you're impulsive, you're outgoing, you're extroverted. So all that,
I see what you're saying.
so
okay.
all that adding together, of course you're gonna get those fucking.
I get what you're saying. So you're saying because of how our personalities are, I'm set up to get more positive outcomes.
Yes.
Well, that's not the case. I mean, like I've mentioned a couple times already, I do have bad days, and I had a very bad day yesterday. I get negative.
Yeah.
And I get negative.
Everybody. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no. I get it. But I don't get positive because of my impulsiveness. Impulsiveness, yeah, but impulsivity, is that even a word?
I don't think that's a word. I think it's impulsiveness.
Impulsiveness. I don't get positivity because of my impulsiveness. I don't get positivity because of my extrovertedness. I don't get positivity because I'm seeking memories. Those three things are byproducts of me seeking positivity. Those three are things that happen because I want positivity in my life, so to speak. And you can still get that, with your personality, right? Since we're opposite, you're more introverted and you're less likely to be going out and trying things, right? That's fine. That's completely okay. But you can still have a positive life. Like, here's an example. WWE, right? I know it's scripted, but just stick with me for the example.
Right.
That's your thing. Now, this is a great example because you don't do this with WWE. You don't go in there expecting negative, do you? You don't go in there saying this person's going to lose, this person's going to lose, this WWE is going to suck. I actually do. But I mean, let me finish.
Okay, for the sake of your example, I'll say yes.
Yeah, I mean in the sense of like, this WWE is going to suck, this SmackDown is going to suck, like I don't even know why I'm watching it, like there's no point, like I already know what's going to happen, like this is going to happen, and then I'm going to be able to say, see, I knew this was going to happen. You don't do that. You go, Devyn, I don't know what's going to happen, like it's going to be crazy, like Cena's going to go crazy, right? That's that right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's all perspective. Now, if you could have that same perspective with life, I'm not telling you to. You might see a difference in your overall enjoyment of it. You don't have to go out and be impulsive and, start drifting in front of cops. Wink, wink. I'm going to tell that story eventually. But you can still have that same, perspective, like just with little things like.
But, okay.
I'm going to have a good day at work. Have you ever told yourself that?
Yes, and it came out to be a fucking 15-hour day.
And then this is the test. That's the life test right there. Remember, before the show started, I got a life test, right? I can sit here and bitch and complain about the life test, or I could take it on the chin and move forward. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. It fucking sucks. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and go, I'm just going to give up because it didn't go the way I thought it was going to. Because that's giving up. That's like, oh, sorry, life. Yeah, it didn't go that way I wanted it to, so I'm out. Have fun with everything else. I'm going to be over here. Like, what the fuck? Like, if it was sports and you're like, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. And then you lost and you're like, I'm dead. That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to play sports no more. Why? Because you lost? Yeah, I lost. Oh, okay. And I'm going to lose again. and I'm going to lose tomorrow, and I'm going to lose the game after that, and I'm going to lose the game after that. No, Eddie, you might win. Nope. I'm going to lose, Devyn. Watch, I promise you I'm going to lose. Don't tell yourself that. Tell yourself you're going to win. Devyn, I promise you, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to win, and then I'm going to go in tomorrow, and I'm going to lose. Just tell yourself you're going to win. Fine. For you, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to win. I'm going to win. But I guarantee you, I'm going to lose. Then you go tomorrow, guess what happens? You lose. Then you come back and you say, see, I lost. That's why I don't tell myself I'm going to win. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would anybody want to do that to themselves?
I guess it's draining coming from a person who has a different perspective. To me,
I know.
To me, it's not draining. But I also thought about this, and I still do believe this in a way. Our life is predetermined no matter what. So you can sit here and say, I'm going to have a good day at work. And you do have a good day at work. That's not you attracting it. That's the book of your life. The book of your life was already scheduled for you to have that good day.
So I love that argument with this too, because for this conversation, all of your usual counterpoints have no bearing here. All right. So, okay, your life's predetermined.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can believe that. Personally, I don't, but you can. Right? Oh, I kind of do. It's weird. Because there are instances where I feel like we won't get lost in it though. Yeah. So, okay, your life's predetermined. Same situation. Even if your life is set up to be negative 80% of the time, you don't have to wake up every day expecting the negative. Because then, you know what you're doing? Let's just say God's like, you know what, Eddie? Your life's going to be negative 85% of the time for your entire life, and I'm never going to fix it. Okay, that's predetermined, whatever. Why would you wake up every single day and then go, yep, today's going to suck? Because then you're giving into the pressure of it. Everyone's telling you you have to feel negative because your life's negative, and you're going, okay. Why? Even if my life is negative, like yesterday, I hate that I keep saying this, but in the middle of my breakdown, in the middle of what I felt like my life ending and just everything, and it wasn't that bad. And it wasn't that dramatic. I was just having a breakdown. In the middle of all that, you know what I did? Me personally, because I talk to the universe a lot, I think the universe, but you could think the Lord or whoever you personally like pray to. And in the middle of all of it, literally tears coming down my face, I was like, thank you, universe. I appreciate you. I appreciate my life. And I was like, I know I'm going through it right now. My fucking wrist is sprained, self-inflicted, by the way. I know like a lot of things are going bad today, and I just feel like my life's in a weird spot right now, but I'm very glad for my life. I'm very happy for what I've been able to achieve and where I'm at. And I'm glad that these are the struggles that I get to deal with. I'm glad that these are the issues that I get to cry over instead of waking up and not having a foot, or being blind, or having to deal with not having my family around, or being so poor that I can't afford food. I'm glad that the issues that I'm going through are these issues. They're negative. Don't get me wrong. They're negative. But I'm glad that these are the negative hands that I was dealt. I appreciate that. And it doesn't matter if you guys believe me. I don't give a shit. You can call me crazy or whatever. The universe, though. The cosmic force that's all around us that decides everything. It heard me. And it knew I was being serious. And even at my lowest moments, and they teach that in Christianity too, even at your lowest moments, you have to be appreciative for your life. So again, I ask you, if your life is predetermined and it's all supposed to be negative, that doesn't mean you need to be. And that doesn't mean you need to expect it. Even if it's true, even if your life's 100% negative, which it's not, even if it's 100% negative and things are never going to go your way, ever, you don't need to wake up and go, well, I can't wait for everything to not go my way today. You can still wake up and be like, maybe today's the day. Maybe today's the day. And I think there's something to that.
Right,
that
but
attitude.
If you know that tomorrow was going to be a bad day, why waste your time being hopeful when you know it's already going to be a bad day?
Because
Like-
I'm not gonna let life beat me down that
But
easy.
life always wins.
I don't care. I'm gonna still fight. That's why the Rocky quote's my favorite quote. Winning is never giving up.
Again, that's we're two different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna say my way of thinking is you're not gonna say that, but
It's wrong, Eddie.
it's wrong. No, I was gonna say it's cowardly.
I don't think it's cowardly.
No, I'm not saying it's cowardly, but we're both gonna look at it as, oh, he's wrong, he's cowardly. Devyn, you're wrong, you're cowardly. So it's a dead topic.
It's not a dead topic because you're not cowardly. I don't think you're cowardly,
I'm not
and I
saying-
completely understand your point.
I'm saying that it's just an example.
I understand how you got here, and I understand your perspective. I mean, like, I've tried to put a lot of work into how you look at the situation. And so I understand where you're coming from. I completely get it. And, like, that is a safe route. Like, if you know a lot of bad things are going to happen, you can go, oh, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to get my hopes up. It's too much work. I don't want to wake up every day and get positive just for it to be ruined. But there's nothing wrong with doing that either. That's my argument, really. And I guess the main point I would like to leave you with specifically is maybe if you tried the other one, you might see an improvement. Maybe it actually makes your life worse, and then you realize how good your old perspective was. If anything, it's a learning experience either way. Whether you choose to or you don't. And this conversation is eye-opening for both of us, and it's eye-opening for the people here. Jesus Christ, an hour and 49 minutes.
Jesus.
We're going to start having to wrap this up here soon because I did not want to go this long.
And it's your turn to edit.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We if you want.
No, it's okay.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
I was
I
gonna
have
say-
to do it. I have to do it. I've been making you do it. I'll do it.
No.
No. It's fine. I got it. I'll do it.
No. Let me. You don't even know what I'm gonna say. I was gonna say let's bring a 5-minute topic and end it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a 5-minute topic here. Let me just see what I got.
I don't have any 5-minute topics.
I got a lot of good topics, man. I like how my very last one is Devyn is sober now. I can't believe. Oh, 5-minute topic. Got it.
Cool.
So for the people that made it to the end of this episode, this is, I guess, for you because the majority of our audience is men, and I would like to take a small moment to just thank all the men because I recently found a bunch of statistics at the end of this very toxic video with the whole red pill shit. I still get some of those videos and I watch them for entertainment. I'm not gonna lie. None of them are Andrew Tate though. Is he arrested?
I don't know.
He just fell off, huh?
No, he tries to be relevant by tweeting a lot of
Stupid shit.
yeah, but it his 15 minutes of fame is over.
Yeah, it was there, and then he got arrested. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So at the end of this video, they were doing interviews, and it was those standard rage bait interviews, and the guy was like, "Do we need men?" And it went through a hypercut of I think over 30 women on the street saying that we don't need men. All different groups. There was like groups of girls, there were single girls, there was tortas, there were skinny girls, there was older women, younger women, I think even a little girl at one point. And so then right after that, it started going into statistics, and this is what made me really appreciate, men. So shout out to the men because 95% of all military personnel are men. 96% of all lumberjacks are men. 94% of all pilots are men. 96% of ship captains are men. 94% of welders, professional welders, are men. 96% of oil rig workers are men. 97% of men are fishermen. I mean, it's in the name. 92% of men working are construction workers. Are in the construction worker industry. I fucked that last one up. 97% are deep sea divers. 98% are underwater welders. 95% are industrial miners. 90% are engineers. And 94% are railroad workers. Now, unless you're a fucking idiot, you should know that every single one of those industries is super, super important to keeping the world up and running. So for every single person out there who's ever said that they hate men and they don't need men, fuck them. Because I want to say personally, thank you guys. We appreciate you. Thank all of you. Thank you to all of you. I appreciate you. Police officers, military, lumberjacks, pilots, ship captains, welders, oil rig workers, especially because those guys literally will die doing their job. Fishermen, construction workers, deep sea divers, underwater welders, industrial miners, engineers, railroad workers. Why is that so hard to say? Thank you. We appreciate you. Eddie, say thank you. Come on, man, just a thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. We appreciate you. And thank you for listening to this episode. So we're going to do an abrupt ending. Goodbye.
This concludes the Moon Men podcast. The end.